eastern side across from Manor, and it's going to cut across this relatively central circle all the way over towards Seaport. We can see that Enkyo, Gramalok, and Co have already returned back to Manor, and I love that we're checking in with them early on. FIFA Kills team, this has been the biggest question. Now, after this map, I'm gonna have to lay off it because let the cards lie on the table. But they have their work cut out for them early on here at Quadri Shopping Center.
Yeah, and it looks like I don't know what's going on right now because every drop they've had has apparently been hotly contested. You can see a couple teams nearby in this area. And so I think over here in City, like when you're dropping in this area, there's so many buildings that people can drop into that they claim as their building of choice, that once you get some weapons, maybe loadout even if you can get enough cash, but once you get some decent weapons, a lot of teams will like to push a fight on a team they know is close by. And so I would imagine a lot of their early fights were, I guess, not immediate off rip, not contested on the same building, but once they're starting contracts like this, or once they're maybe first got their loadout and people see that loadout hit the ground, like those types of informational signal flares, some of these other teams are just flying at them right away. So I'll be very curious to watch out for. I think it's Team 40 close by and a couple other teams right around the corner. You can see Begsy right here, Team 10, pushing up, trying to get some information on FIFA Kill Squad.
I love what they've already done. They hit that recon contract. They're going to get that next circle, but that's the issue, right? This is the breakdown that we witnessed. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing to do. And now FIFA is going to try to stick the res onto Juki's, but oftentimes or not, it's their entry approach into a fight. This is a standard 3v1 on Begsy, and Juki's gets ripped off the ladder. This is going to allow Vision Squad on the opposing side that time to waltz right into this because they hear the shots. They're like, this is going to be a smart fight for us.
Yeah, and it looks like Begsy's backup is finally here and just in time to take on Team 40. So you've got an opportunity here as Team Juki's to keep looting. You actually don't even have to play this fight if you don't want to. Seems like they maybe have played this fight a couple times and it hasn't worked out. It looks like they're going to back way out and swing around the corner here if Juki's gets the loot he wants to match up with this team. They are pretty aggressively split right now, but no team's pushing. This isn't a bad thing. They're just looting and getting their loadout. There's the loadout coming in. You can see the green flare. Once they grab their loadout, they should be able to take some of these fights, but fun to watch. I mean, frankly, I thought it was going to be a bit more hot, and this time maybe they just went a bit more patient because things haven't been working well for them, but smokes out Juki's to allow him to get some room to run over here to loadout, and they'll be right back into the mix, rather, as we see a massive 3-team fight happening with Gramalok, Inkyo, Heeds. They've lost maybe one floating back in. That's Grom. And again, this is the team we all expect to be near the top. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Doesn't matter anymore. You're in 13th. Make a move.
Yeah, on the bubble into the second half of the series. We saw it yesterday in NA. We chatted about it throughout the recap at the top of the show. How many big names in competitive Warzone that were not able to qualify to land here, and Enkyo falls immediately, starts to pressure with the self-res, but Gramalok and Heeds answer back with ease on that timing. And well, here we go. That's a good way to get some eliminations on the board. Return to that former state. But this is a lot different of a rotation than we typically witness throughout them in the prior iterations of groups, right? They would land at Manor, they'd grab a helicopter, they'd start doing contracts, and it made them very formidable with their information, but they're changing things up ahead of moving into that global land final.
Yeah, this looks like the Gramalok team I was waiting for. Great trades across the board, and I know their comms were very aggressive. Their small talk is nearly impeccable, and I don't understand French, but a lot of the words we use in Warzone come out in language I do understand, and usually it's all about killing, pushing, trading, and well, PDSs and C4s. We're seeing a lot of that today. New circle coming in here shortly as FIFA Kills team again full wiped, and it's at the hands of Padzuka. Holy cow. Quick look at our map here. Enigma actually standing by and to break it down for us as we watch Team FIFA Kill completely break down on main stage.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you very much. And yeah, you mentioned the circle there about how it's about to move into the second one. So let's kind of talk about what this could do to the various players as it starts to come on in. Actually, my map feed has frozen. So if you just give me a second to replay that, and there we go. So yeah, we're looking at an extremely central circle here. Now, this causes issues for teams for multiple reasons. And what we end up with is a situation where recon contracts in particular come in very, very handy here, because as we've seen in earlier zones, you could end up, for example, with a cargo rotation, a town rotation, maybe even something like over here or down in towards this area. And the problem with that is every single rotation, if you guess wrong, you're looking at trying to cross the water, cross bridges, put yourself in horrible different positions, and that leaves you in late rotations and more than likely gets you smoked. The one thing I will say is a couple of teams then that are way outside of this rotation right now, they're quite frankly sat on the edge of zone. It's going to cause them a lot of problems going forward. So personally, I think a lot of recon contracts, but I'm going to ask you guys how you would play this out from here.
Nothing like a good check-in with our analyst desk to really have that all-knowing breakdown. On the north side, we've been able to see all the things, but for now, we turn back to our team of the hour, FIFA Kill, approaching from the air, looking for a chance to hit the regain. Now, knowing that we're super central and he's floating over Zaravan on that southwestern side, there's not going to be a lot of opportunities for a solid regain here.
Yeah, and I was, thinking about what Enigma said, and one of the big things he mentioned was how handy recon contracts could be. And I love that call out too, because you have to know where the next zone is going to be. And the next one with a centrally located zone, Enigma broke it down perfectly. You technically don't know. It could really be anywhere, and these next couple zones will tell. So if you can get those recons, so valuable. Great breakdown. Shout out to Enigma as we get back into the mix here with some of our teams near the middle to top of the leaderboard, kind of on that threshold. This team was in 9th going into this map. Prodigy, they're looking very quiet in pop-off, seemingly waiting on a bit more information to figure out where they want to go next. As Pazuka, the exact opposite, Tim, they are in the mix and they are fighting FIFA's team, and now they're fighting Vision's team on the other side and wiping everybody. Everyone falling at the hands of Pazuka. Goes big, another elimination.
Hey, look, if you want to solidify yourself in that top 12 right now on the back half of our series, this is one heck of a way to do it, sitting in 6th place with 42 points. And I start to think of, what does that 12th place threshold currently stand at? Well, we're only 8 points away from 12th place. And that is wild. Everyone has a chance to make it into that top 12. So you are not safe even there.
Yeah, and Tiff, I think that's a huge point is, again, anybody can make it top 12. You just need some big games. You brought it up yesterday. We brought it up again today. Map-wise, you all get the picture. When averages are 11 points, those begin to fall out the window unless you want to put them into a spreadsheet and figure out how many you need. At some level, if you're near the bottom, you need 2 to 3 really big games in the final 3 maps. If you're near the top, you just need basic average or even a little under average. You'll be fine. But you can't pull a team rated. You can't drop a 3-point map or a 4-point map going in when you're on the fringe. It just can't happen. So everyone feeling the pressure, everyone feeling the pressure of trying to make grand finals, trying to make LAN, as Quicker's team is holding a couple teams. We get a quick look at that map again. It is just barely eking east, still saying basically dead center of Urzikstan, which means we'll likely see that Old Town, Low Town end that we mostly expected.
For now, the hold comes through. Good shots at this angle. That iron sight Holger is just something to behold. Whether you think back to past iterations of the meta and how we just keep adapting, it's just one thing for another. That DG turns into the Holger, and some people run around with the SVA. But this thing has been so fun to watch. Just doesn't move. But for this team that has to move in on that northwest or northeastern side from military base, this is a completely isolated fight. They can take as long as they want, but as long as you just don't overextend your peak onto a Car 98, sure.
Yeah, I'm actually more worried about resource management in this fight. Like, I'm fine with the fight. I think you can take it for a long time. Like you said, there's nobody on this side of the map. The next team, Team 14, is like way down by bridge, so no risk of third parties. And I like Control Deck's position here to be able to hold this team. They technically have a little bit of prio. Now they force the equation, get a knock. They should win here. You just really don't want to waste all your plates. You don't want to waste any of your gas masks if you have them. Good to win. No, lose it. Diablo! Is that 2? Will Diablo get a 1v3 on main stage on edge of zone? I was talking about minutia of plates. Now you're worried about your entire team's life. Maybe the tournament on the line. What in the world? Control with the C4 to try to even the tide. Low on resources, makes the ego chow and gets it. Wow, talking about resource management. How about teammate management? Goes down to 1.
Yeah, that is insane. We have money to get our squads back, right? We just need to get to a relatively safe buy station to make that occur. And as we jump on board here with this free cam, you can see Juki's winning a big fight right there, which is going to be impressive. Actually, I'm sorry, it's Lennon that was able to do it. And now that opens the door for the rest of the squad to kind of group up here, which is more of what I want to see from this squad. Juki's is one of those players that can oftentimes separate out from Lennon and FIFA and maybe make a power play, but in World Series of Warzone, that hasn't really been able to make that stand just yet. I think it's strength in numbers and working to break down the opposing squads. And here you see Juki's kind of snaking his way, looking for those angles. FIFA gonna open it up with the damage.
Yeah, great hold here. Again, an incredibly isolated fight. They need to win this and maybe in a better fashion than the last one. And I think this team recognizes they are at a huge disadvantage based on the positioning and high ground that FIFA Kill & Co. have, especially with this flank here from FIFA. So they try to wrap. They don't even want this fight. And one gets hopped back on. That's King Chalk. Goes down, and a well-placed thermite is going to turn the tides even more in FIFA Kill's favor. You actually see Juki sets up on the rotation to catch them in that rotation and hopefully find another kill. And unfortunately can't land the shots that he needs to with the burst. Just doesn't hit the shots. This should be a free win 3v2. They can't quite clean him up, and then finally FIFA Kill with a huge wrap gets it, but burning resources. FIFA Kill is going to lose nearly his entire gas mask to this play, which looked like a free fight. Just think about that as they get into the late zone. If they don't have gas mask, FIFA Kill in particular, they're low on resources. Just that small little error could punish them late game if they don't have PDSs or can't hit another buy between now and then.
And this is something that I broke down yesterday in the NA regional finals, and something that we need to think about as we see some of our squads that are looking to get into the top 12. That is currently owned by the team on your squad or your screen with 37 points. Team FIFA Kill is over 20 points outside of top 12. So not only do you need 20 points to breach that top 12, but you're going to need to maintain that average points per game of somewhere around 11 points on top of it. So I need a 15 plus elimination 2x multiplier win out of Team FIFA to feel safe.
Yeah, all eyes. I was going to say, production's right on it. All eyes on this Inkyo squad just outside that threshold, Tiff. You were breaking down, and Car 98 to the face won't prove ultimately that punishing as long as you're... Oh, okay, well, Team Rocket blasts off again and gets the full. Never mind. I thought he was safe. I thought he was going to be fine. I thought he gets out there. Now down to 2 players. They were in a great position inside of zone on the edge hunting. Team Rocket is holding them hard, and they cannot move. They get the buyback, though.
Hey, at least they got a buyback, right? Look, we're keeping it, stringing it together. Doesn't have to be pretty. It can be messy so long as you grab those eliminations. But the squad showing up here now on Village. Mind you, they returned back to Manor for this drop. They cleared out their side of the zone and have been slowly moving north. For now, they're all alone. The nearest squad to them is going to be the roster of Team Clapper. This gives them a buy station and a redeploy zip. So they're looking pretty good depending on where that circle wants to pull. But for the squad that came out of lower round 2 in a really chaotic fashion, fragging heavily throughout the series, waking up as it kept going, Melvin, Pentagon, Fuzzin, I'm really happy with their performance so far.
Yeah, and I think the motto of World Series of Warzone 2024 has been hashtag something to prove. I think every team has got a bit of a chip on their shoulder. They're not getting the recognition they want. They didn't perform the way they wanted, and they've got something to prove. Team Fuzzin has something to prove. They want to be on LAN. They want to prove they're some of the best EMEA talent out there, and a lot of teams are discounting their skill. They're saying they're not good enough. They don't have the Kim, and so far so good in this round. But a team, a lot of people are saying the same, maybe the opposite, saying, where are you? Juki's all by himself, trying to figure out where to go.
Every time someone says, where are you? I just want to break into song.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't do that to my brain right now. Not here in Warzone, but Juki's, I need you to stand firm on this push. A 3v1 gets ripped down by Reload from the other side. Where are you? And I'm so sorry.
So sorry for Juki's. They are out of here. Team wipe. See you later. Adios. 30th. What's going on? Flanked, sandwiched, everything in between. They're going to be way down in the 30s as well on the leaderboard with 2 maps to go. Good luck, friends. I wish you well. But But in this fight, in this circle, it ends up pulling a hair east. We're in Lowtown, the north side of Lowtown. It actually gives this bridge play that Team Clapper with Rocket on that squad holding Ankyo. They've actually got a pretty good spot on the very edge of zone where they're going to be able to hold not only Team Ankyo that's going to try to rotate through, but also a couple other teams coming in very, very late. This side of the zone is the Old Town side, is utter chaos. As you can see on your screen right now, the Italian trio survived Roster Mania, made a team together, and are making moves on this leaderboard. 1, 2, 3 teams fighting them. Slowly but surely clipping 1, 2, 3 kills back to back to back. They said Freddy's the fryer, Freddy's in charge, and I say, wow, Freddy, you're doing it big right here on main stage.
Hey, gotta do it there. You're sitting in 6th place overall. Not safe, but if we can throw down a banger here, it'll really give us that much more confidence on locking in our tickets. We just have to get through this hellish rotation, but you can already see they're using the chaos of Old Town to make a move. Fuzz and Melvin, they wipe out yet another squad. They've got to have a ton of eliminations here in drop number 4, but our attention starts to turn to that team number 29 on your screen, Team Huncho, a foe that is going to be gatekeeping the remainder of our teams, looking for a rotation out of Old Town.
Yeah, smokes are your friends, folks. There's that Freddy play just south with that aerial cam. A great view. The team trying to rotate in. You're right, Huncho held this position for a while, been waiting for these teams to rotate in, and then they realize, man, we don't have great viewpoints, frankly. Like, we can wait for somebody to try to take our building and win the fight, but we don't really have a lot of options to shoot out, which is honestly a little bit of a death trap. I like the positioning on the top of the boxes, but you're basically at the mercy of these other teams. They know somebody's in here. I don't think anybody's going to push them. They're just going to hang out as everybody rotates around them. The hold, incredibly not successful. And if you don't make a move soon, you're actually going to be rotating too late, and you're going to get held. Look at the people across the river, Tiff. Unless it pulls to right dead center, basically, of that river, Team Huncho is going to be in trouble. Look where Savvy Ultra is showstopper. Everybody just running around them.
I don't want to be on this side of the zone. Look at the eastern side. Ankyo's team got a free rotation twice on 2 circles, moving in from that northeastern side. They crossed the water immediately, and now they're taking one of the biggest fights of the game right here against the team in front of them. If they can win this, they're going to secure such a power position in the end game, and Ankyo finally waking up.
Every time we tune into this team, I will give them credit. Their team chemistry of when to push fights is nearly perfect. Darzity able to somehow creep out of there and stay alive, which is honestly impressive. I think the mortars and bunker busters next to this building actually covered that self-revive. Darzity got to try to play for some placement here, but that team is so good about breaking down teams and pushing at the perfect moment. Their comms are near flawless. We've seen teams struggle with that in the past, but not this one. We head back to Huncho, and just as we expected, Tiff, bad rotation. They had a good building. They didn't have exit points that they can cover, and now it's all on the back of their final teammate, who's going to maybe try to make a play through the water. Got to try to make top 10. It's going to be a very, very tall task.
Yeah, this was a team that was effectively gatekeeping that western side, but too much pressure as a lot of squads decided to rotate around them, but everyone's using their PDSs, their gas masks, all these resources that would be prevalent for that end game. And well, you've got the Titans of our lobby thus far behind you, and yeah, you can grab a full onto one and someone's going to save you for another. Does this give us enough time and cover to get the self-res off? No, we get ripped on out of it, but our attention turns towards that circle pull, and right now it is all omit EU. They call in a mobile buy station, they get the circle pull, they just have to fend off the rest of the lobby from the west.
Recon or IQ, it doesn't matter. Team Gromlock have a chance to go massive in this map. They have a ton of kills to boot. They have best position to win it all, and it looks like Team Clapper has one remaining player that is on the outside, maybe 2 actually, on the outside of zone, just trying to play slow for top 10, and they've done it. They've made top 10. They're going to get some decent points on that 1.6 multiplier. Now everybody's looking for the top 5 position, and this is where it's going to get very hairy. The only team in zone in a piece of cover is Team Inkyo and Gromlock. As they wipe Team Rocket, they're going to get back to their cover, and here comes the third party on the other side. Love to swap over there. You can see it on the mini-map. Gooey being held, Clavson being held, FLS last alive for his team just inside the zone. On the edge, goes down to gas. They don't have resources. Zach is hunting on the edge of gas, but here's that team. They overextended to take care of Team Rocket, and now he's the only player alive, the support for the squad, trying to make a heroic moment to get to top 5. They need this multiplier. They've got a lot of kills.
Yeah, 1.8x is such a difference. They secure it. So now, as soon as he lock it in, he immediately pushes on, trying to find any more eliminations that he can. There goes the Chow, wants to break this squad down, but everyone needs to focus on that rotation for the circle pull. So Heeds here can sit, lie in wait. He does have that PDS that on toe. Now, I'm curious of how we're gonna make the play work for them. Well, honestly,
yeah,
it breaks out. Okay, we're hiding.
I like this. You made top 5. You can hang out for a little bit. Bubble CT, Louis CM, Team War still alive, barely. Now they're gone. Begsy goes huge. All 3 alive. Holding zone. Begsy should win this, but we said that a couple times that it doesn't always go to script. Ace out in the open. It's Gravelok making plays on the right-hand side, making this at least a Chow, but Reload cleans him up. No problem. All 3 alive. Player advantage will pay off. Gravelok's teammate Heed says, I am running for my life. Can I get to the edge? Can I get to another PDS? No. All 3 up. Player advantage gives you the win this time around. This time going the way it should. Begsy, SV, Reload, a massive victory. But I gotta say that Team Gravelok with Heeds getting top 5 with that amount of kills, I can only imagine they were likely the top scorer in that map.
You're probably right there, but for Team Begsy, who was outside that 12th place position, looking in, needed this win to really shoot themselves up the leaderboard. Let's jump back towards that last stand so we can see where things really start going wrong for that Omit EU squad. Louis CM, Bubble CT, Wars, moving in under the guise of smoke, trying to gatekeep a lot of squads toward that north side. But that's that overextension we were talking about. We know when you get into that power position, teams are going to want to move in on it for you, and aydan and Hallow do just enough to force that Omit EU roster into turmoil.
Yeah, it was the perfect call out. Heeds, Gravelok, Inkyo on the right-hand side. They do wipe Team Rocket, but in doing so, they lose Inkyo, they lose power position. Hollow's able to sweep in with aydan to take high ground, so he's completely all alone trying to figure out what the hell am I supposed to do. And at this point, he's just got to run and stay alive. You see Bubble and Louis CM control the left side hand side of the map right now, but again, it all comes down to power position, and Hollow and aydan are